All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the Mikestand. We'll wait a few minutes to see if more people show up. Hopefully everybody is well. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend as we're now into December here. Hope everybody's Christmas plans are coming through for them. It's our favorite time of the year. Holiday cheer. Oh, the world is believing that mistletoe feeling that comes up every year. It's our favorite time of the year. Hmm. You better not pout. You better not cry. You better not shout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list, checking it twice. Gonna find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out. You better not cry. You better not pout. I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. Frosty the snowman was as jolly as can be, with a corncob pipe and a button nose and two eyes made out of coal. Frosty the snowman had to hurry on his way, for when you know that the winter blows, but he'll be back someday. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw him, you would even say it glows. All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games. Then came foggy Christmas Eve. Santa came to say, Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him as he shouted out with glee, Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, you'll go down in history. It's our favorite time of the year. Holiday cheer. And the world is believing that mistletoe feeling. It's our favorite time of the year. Hmm. Mama and Daddy had a little baby. Yes, they did. It's a magic number. 3 is the family. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. Yes, they did. It's a family. Yes, they did. It's a family. Mama and Daddy had a little baby. Yes, they did. It's a magic number. Yes, they did. It's a family. Yes, they did. It's a magic number. Yes, they did. is a magic number. Mama and Daddy had a little baby. Yes, they did. It's a family. Yes, they did. It's a family. Mama and Daddy had a little baby. Yes, they did. It's a family. Yes, they did. It's a family. Alrighty then, so let's do. We're up to 6 minutes now. Still waiting for people to come. Have yourself a merry little Christmas with all the Yuletide cheers. And from now on, our troubles will be miles away. Merry Christmas to you. They say that Santa's on his way. They still only I'm the only one here. Hmm. I'm on right now. I'm on right now. You on right now. You wanna come over? On right now. On right. Let's see. Okay, so 8 minutes. Hopefully, some people will come in. So here's what's on tap for tonight. We got 6 stories to go over. Um, 3 anime, 3 comics book related. We got somebody else here. Hello, hey Timothy. Hey man, I'm glad you're here. Finally got you to come over. So yeah, I'm just starting to go over what we're gonna go over tonight. Like I said we got 6 stories we're gonna go over tonight. 3 anime related. We're gonna actually start with anime tonight because there was a big story that kind of came out over the weekend in regards to Vic Mignogna. Yeah. Um, as always, if you can like and share the stream, that would be appreciated. Um, anyway, so we've got that. We got some release information on the latest from Star Blazers and Detective Conan slash Case Closed. We got a few comic releases as well to talk about. Jennifer Blood series and Dynamite Entertainment. There's an action activist comic, which I believe might be an SJW type of comic. We'll read a little bit about that, and then we will also there's something about the latest release of Kaiju number 8. So that's all that's on tap for tonight. So without any further ado, let me get started here. So first story we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the Vic Mignogna story. It's not. I don't have a article per se, but that was a big thing that happened over the weekend here. I loved Corona. I love Corona late night program. Huh. I love Conan's yes, Action Activist. There's apparently a comic called Action Activist. Hey, toys, eating nerds. I hope you're all doing well and having a great night. Yeah, same here, toys. And as always, if you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be great. Laugh out loud. Conan's chill. Yeah. So, anyways, the first thing I want to talk about, of course, is what happened with Vic and LA Comic Con this weekend, because story kind of developed over the weekend. So here's what was going down. Apparently, now first off, just so everybody knows, Vic was not an actual guest of the con itself. He was a guest of one of the vendors. So there was this vendor known as Aces Comics. That was, I guess, based in LA. They were going to have Vic at LA Comic Con to do an autograph signing. But for those of you, for just in case you don't know what we're talking about, Vic Mignogna is a anime dub voice actor, voice actor. Um, formerly he worked for Funimation, but then basically he got brigaded out of the industry there for a bit, where because he was being accused of everything from being creepy to being a predator. So they basically tried to cancel him. He basically sued them for a number of things, including tortious interference. He got totally screwed. Yep, he kind of got screwed by the court, but it's still in appeals right now. We don't have any updates on the court side of it because we're still waiting to hear from the appeals court. It's still in appeals. They just haven't made a decision yet, apparently. So we have no idea when that's coming out. But what happened this past weekend, of course, was he was going to be a guest of a vendor at LA Comic Con called Aces Comics. They're going to have him there for an autograph signing. And lo and behold, the small little cadre of Kick Vickers decided that they were going to complain to the con, and they basically got him. The con bent the knee, and told, Ace's comment, "Hey, look, we're sorry, but he can't be here." Which, now I know this. I know they were talking. Vic was, I got more of the story, by watching Tug's video where he took about a 23 minute segment out of the flash cast from Saturday night and posted it up, where Vic had come in and talked about that. And that is kind of screwy to ruin it for everybody else. Okay, if as Vic even said, hey, you don't like him, fine, don't engage with him. But you have to sit there and ruin it for everybody else. There are a lot of people who like him, and that's part of the problem too, is that they're jealous, but they were also talking about it's possible that Aces may even have a legal claim to torturous interference, because obviously the lines that they would have had coming, and maybe some of the other vendors around Aces would have also had, because all those people who would have been coming to get something signed from Vic would have also been there shopping at Aces and some of the other vendors. So those vendors may have a claim of torturous interference against the con. Vic should sue. Well, one, I don't know if he has standing in this particular case, because again, he was not a guest of the con. He was a guest of the vendor. Okay, if anybody's going to sue, it's going to be more likely the vendor who's got the so what's the word standing. I think the vendor has. I mean, and the idea that Vic would actually sue the vendor over this, I don't see that happening either. Just because I think Vic knows it wasn't the vendor's fault. The vendor wanted to, but what could they really do? The con basically set the foot down and said, "No, we don't want him here. We got these people brigading us." It's the vendor who actually would have what they call standing, I believe. So, so yeah. So basically, and think that Star Wars girl was there, but basically, Vendor's the one who has the standing, so it would be interesting. Vic should sue someone for some. Yeah, well, right now he's still waiting on the resolution. He's still kind of waiting on the appeals of what he's already suing somebody for. I mean, you know, I think he might be a little more gun shy about suing people because grant everybody agrees he got screwed by Judge Shupp. I think everybody agrees with that. He got screwed by Judge Shupp because of his ignorance on some of the factors. Okay, but yeah, so we're still waiting on the appeals for that. So that's kind of what happened over the weekend. He was set to appear at a signing for Aces Comics during LA Comic Con, and then he was basically you know uninvited due to you know thanks to this small little group of idiots, or as I like to sometimes call them, twidiots. Twitter idiots, twidiots, that kind of portmanteau. So that's essentially what happened there. It sucks that this one little group of people has to spoil it for everybody else. That's screwed up. There's something definitely wrong in our society when we allow this kind of stuff to happen. That's why we got to continue to stand up against these people, and not let them bully us around. So anyways, all right, so that's about as much as I can say about that. So why don't we get to the next the next news story here then? As YouTube, of course, is screwing around with the counter. As always, if you guys can like and if you haven't already, if you can like and share the stream, that'd be very appreciative. So without any further ado, let's go ahead um, and get on to the next story here. Bounding into comics. Got two of them here that we're going to do from the anime side of this. I'll get to that Detective Conan story in a moment. Right now, here's the first of the two that we're going to look at. Star Blazer Space Battleship Yamato 2205 drops new teaser trailer for second part. Article by Spencer Baculi, published this past Friday. Let's see what we got going on here. Hot off the October 8th release of Space Battleship Yamato 2205, a new voyage Zensho takeoff, the first part of the latest entry in the contemporary cinematic reboot of the anime classic series, production studio Satellite, has released a new teaser trailer for the film's second half, Koshostasha. Star Blazers, Space Battleship Yamato 2205, The New Voyage, Koshostasha satellite. Uploaded to the film's official website on November 30th. So that would have been last Thursday. No, let's see. No, actually, it would have been almost a week ago. Been a week ago tomorrow. The latest teaser for the duology's conclusion gives viewers not only their first look at the Yamato's newest enemies, the Dark Nebula Empire, but also a dazzling display of the newly appointed Captain Susumu Kodai's commanding skills. So, there's a trailer right there. Interesting look. 2/4/22, I guess, is when it's supposed to come out. Um, yeah. The second of two teaser trailers for Kosho Stasha since Zensho Takeoff's release. The first, released on October 15th, provided a wider look at the series' supporting cast. And there's a screenshot of that trailer. Eventually, a remake of 1979's Space Battleship Yamato: The New Voyage Kosho Stasha takes place 3 years after Yamato's war with the White Comet Empire and sees the ship's crew fighting back against the aforementioned Dark Nebula Empire. After the nebulous race of cyborgs launches a surprise invasion of the Sol system. So here's Source Starblazer Space Battleship 2205, The New Voyage, Kosho Stasha. Starblazer's Space Battleship Yamato 2205, A New Voyage, Kosho Stasha, is set to release in Japanese theaters on February 4th, 2022. Like other films in the Space Battleship Yamato remake series, a Blu ray of the film will be made available to purchase the same day as Kosho Stasha theatrical release. Yet another. Have you been enjoying the Star Blazers Space Battleship Yamato remakes? Are you excited for 2205, The New Voyage, Kosho Stasha? Let us know your thoughts and media or in the comments below. Well, I hadn't even known that it was out. First off, but I have seen the. I remember when they had the first Star Blazer series on like, a few years ago on cable. That was pretty good to watch. So here we go. Uh, Hopefully, you guys are still here with me. Let's see. Hmm. Anyways, Troy's had something to say here. Laugh out loud. I was thinking of doing a giveaway when I hit 400 subs. Would be a free 1 month subscription to Funimation with a complete series. Yeah, that might be funny. Anyways, I'm sorry. Mm. Detective Conan, The Bride of Halloween, gets official release date, new trailer and teaser visual. Article by Spencer McCauley, published this past Friday. In a half hour yet, and we're already about halfway through the stories. Uh, the 25th cinematic outing for the long running Detective Conan anime has officially received a theatrical release date, as well as a new teaser visual from the original series mangaka and the film's first official trailer. As announced by the film's official Twitter account on November 30th, the Suzumu Mitsuna of Haikyuu directed, Takahiro Okura, Detective Conan, The Fist of Blue Sapphire written, and TMS Entertainment, Megalobox, animated Detective Conan, The Bride of Halloween, will hit Japanese theaters on April 15th, 2020. So this is like a Halloween movie, and yet they're going to release it in April. Okay. That's kind of now. I know they do a lot of releases in April. A lot of series get released in April and all that. But come on, this is for Halloween, for crying out loud. Should be releasing it in October, not around the actual time of Halloween, not 6 months ahead of Halloween. Alongside its release date reveal, the film also received a new um, visual from Detective Conan mangaka Gosho Ayama, um, depicting series romantic mainstays Miwako Sato and Wataru Takagi in wedding dress surrounded by fellow Tokyo police officers Rei Furuya, Jinpei Matsuda, Wataru Date, Kenji Hagiwara, and Hiromitsu Morofushi, the supposed grooms' police academy classmates who featured prominently in the prologue spin-off manga Detective Conan Police Academy arc Wild Police Story. In addition, the film also released its first teaser trailer, giving fans the first look at the Metropolitan Police Academy members' upcoming exploits. There's the trailers right there. That animation still looks good after all these years. Look at how look at how the technique is right there. That's still good after all these years. Remember, the anime itself started up back in '96, and they still maintained a lot of this, you know, style as well. See if there's no. I guess nothing new being said there. Early back up to three. The count's back up to three now. So I thank everybody for the likes and shares. Always do appreciate them. Um, we shall continue on here. A synopsis of the Detective Conan: The Bride of Halloween, or a synopsis of the Detective Conan: The Bride of Halloween, as provided by the film's official website, which details how the eponymous boy detective will find himself up against a mysterious bomber whose trail hints at a connection to a series of past bombings which shook Sato and the Metropolitan Police Department to its very core, can be read below. The synopsis begins Shibuya, Tokyo is bustling with the Halloween season. A wedding is being held at Shibuya Hikarie, where Detective Miwako Sato of the Metropolitan Police Department is dressed in a wedding dress. Quote, or unquote, and then quote, while Conan and the other invited guests are watching, an assailant suddenly busts in and Detective Wataru Takagi, who is trying to protect Sato, is injured. Unquote. It continues. Um, Parts detective go. Okay. Synopsis goes on, quote, Takagi survives and the situation was settled, but in Sato's eyes, the image of the Grim Reaper that she had seen when Detective Matsuda, the man she had been in love with, had been killed in a series of bombings 3 years ago, overlapped with Takagi's. Quote, at the same time, the perpetrator of the bombings escapes from prison, unquote, it states. There's, I guess, her husband to be. I don't know, that's Takagi. The Sinatras then asked, quote, is this really a coincidence? Rei Furuyu, Toru Amaro, a member of the public safety police, is hunting down the man who killed his classmate, Detective Matsuda. But a mysterious person in disguise suddenly appears and puts a collar bomb on him. Oh boy, that must be fun. I mean, somebody put a bomb that's in the form of a collar right around your neck. Yeah, talk about having a uh, head splitting headache. Oh boy. Um, Conan visits the underground shelter where Amuro is hiding out to disarm the collar bomb, and hears about an incident 3 years ago when he and his now deceased classmates from the police academy encountered an unidentified virtual bomber named, in quotes, Plamiya in Shibuya as Conan and his team investigate. Um, right, investigate, a disturbing shadow begins to loom over them. Unquote. It concludes. Right. Are you excited for the next Detective Conan film? Let us know your thoughts on social. That does sound kind of interesting, albeit again, my only real critique of it. What? What are you asking? What for, Timothy? Anyways, while you ponder that question, I'll be right back. I got to step away from the computer for a moment. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So we had four people up. Hey, RJ. uh, RJ's here. Yay. Um, chlamydia. All right. Chlamydia. Shaboya. uh, Let me know if your subs go down after making that announcement. Oh boy. Let's see now. Um, Plays Jeopardy final round music. Yeah. Yeah. I hope you guys aren't disappearing on me now. I just had to step away from the computer for a moment. Wonder if anyone will make that their slogan when they stream. Chlamydia Shaboya. Oh boy. Laugh out loud. How about maybe Funny will appear will sponsor it too. Uh, as always, guys, if you guys can like and share the stream, that'd be appreciated. See if we can get some more friendlier people in here. Um, if you haven't already, if you can do that, that'd be appreciated. So, anyway, we're through the anime portion of the news cycle now. Here, as it were. Now we're gonna head over to the CBR. We're gonna look at some comic-related stories here. All right, so we're back up to four people. That's good. Watching, okay. It would only be scary if they went up. Ah, scary for who though is what you have to kind of wonder. Anyway, so now let's get into this story here. Um, all right, exclusive Jennifer Blood series extended for another story arc. In a piece of Fred Van Lente Day News, um, Dynamite Entertainment announces that the current Jennifer Blood series will be extended for another story arc. Article by Brian Cronin, published 7 hours ago. I guess that's what Jennifer Blood looks like right there. Got some sex appeal there. I'm surprised that the SJWs haven't brigaded against her. As part of Fred Van Lente Day, we can exclusively reveal that the current Jennifer Blood series from Dynamite Entertainment, that is written by Fred Van Lente, um, and drawn by Vincenzo Federici, um, will be extended beyond its original 5-issue storyline with a brand new story arc starting in number 6 that will be called Blood Debt. So I guess the first story arc was so successful they decided to add another story arc to it. That's good to hear. So the first Jennifer Blood arc was great. Now it's just being milked. You know how old when you know you're old when you take 30 minutes to get all your medications set into your day. Um, then a ma gig that holds your pills. Laugh out loud. All right. Well, it may be being milked, but that's kind of a good thing, isn't it? Because at least it's a good thing for that Fred Van Lente guy, because it means that he's now able to make more money. Being milked, well, I guess um, she needs the money. Dynamite explained the setup for Blood Debt as, quote, while recuperating from the bountiful bloodbath in the crime clinic, Jennifer Blood meets a terminally ill hitman who has a bucket list of gangsters who've wronged him over the years. He wants to knock them all off before he kicks off himself. And Jennifer is more than happy to help make his wish come true in a murder filled road trip, culminating in a final showdown in Vegas. Always bet on red. Unquote. Wow, that is a pretty good. That does sound like a pretty interesting story to get into. Assassin's rush there. So as we continue on here, let's see. Van Lente gave a quote via Dynamite about the extension of the series. Quote, so thrilled that readers have responded to the series. I love the character and have so many more Jennifer Blood stories to tell. Well, maybe he'll get a chance to tell them. For all we know, this could be the start of a major book that ends up being like 50 issues, 100 issues, maybe. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Vincenzo and I are just going to try and keep topping ourselves to be the best damn crime comic on the shelves. Good for them. CBR also contacted Van Lente about the news, and he added, quote, this is black comedic, blood-soaked crime tale of Garth Ennis's female Punisher taking on an entire suburb of not really retired gangsters is one of my favorite recent fiction comics works, and I am thrilled it is being received as well as it is, unquote. Yeah, it does sound like a pretty good, pretty interesting story. Van Lente also shared the solicitation text for Jennifer Blood number 6. Here it is. A brand new arc and jumping on point. Blood Debt begins here. A mysterious woman staggers into a clinic for criminals and collapses from her injuries. The crooked head surgeon is convinced that he has Jennifer Blood sedated under his control. Ooh, wouldn't that? I wonder what's going through that doctor's mind. Plans to sell the most wanted woman in the world to the highest bidder. Hmm. But another of his patients is a legendary hitman on his last legs with other plans for blood. And the trauma ward starts to overflow when they team up. Oh man, you got two BA assassins. You don't want to mess with here. It sounds like they just go on a pretty nasty bloodbath. Oh man, I if I had a penny for every blood soaked road trip I went on. Ah, These two did it. They'd probably be rich. Jennifer Blood was first launched by Garth Ennis in 2011, working with artist Adriano Batista, Marcos Mars, Cuba Beal. Al Ewing took over the series from Ennis after the original 6-issue story arc and wrote the series until Jennifer Blood number 25. Mike Carroll was the final writer on the original series. So I guess that was the original series, not this current one, I guess is what they're talking about there. And Al Ewing, the same guy who was partnered up with Joe Bennett for a long time, who split over that whole political cartoon stuff. So anyways, we're back up to 4 people now, and Toys has got something to say here. Laugh Out Loud, blood-soaked road trip. Laugh Out Loud, just add teenagers, and it would every road trip I've ever been on. Laugh Out Loud. Though, oh, those were the days. Well, could you imagine? Hey, Toys, could you imagine for a moment a bunch of teenagers sitting in a car on a quote unquote blood-soaked road trip with Jennifer Blood right there? Can you imagine that? That would be kind of interesting. You have the boys who would probably be like awestruck by her beauty there. Anyways, I'm getting ready to move on. This is one of the things you asked about earlier, Timothy. This was what I was referring to earlier. Action activist. Action activist. New York City releases first activism sequel comic. Sounds kind of like an SJW title to me. New York City's Department of Education has released a new issue of Fred Van Lente and Ryan Dunleavy's Free Action Activist comic book. Article by Brian Cronin, published 5 hours ago. Oh, look at that. Very angry people. I mean, they even got the commie berets there. Oh, man. This is not one that looks too good. Probably one that would really upset a lot of people. Let's see what they have to say here. So I guess the same guy who wrote Jennifer Blood wrote this stuff. Well, let's see what you got to say about this. Fred Van Lente Day continues with more news about the comic book creator. As the second issue of Fred Van Lente and Ryan Dunleavy's Action Activist comic book was released by the New York City Department of Education. Yeah, why does this scream woke to me? This whole thing just screams woke. Woke bullshit. Woke bullshit. uh, the first issue of Action Activist was announced back in 2019 and was then released in 2020. Project is part of the Department of Education's Civics for All program, which is explained by the Department of Education as civic education is an essential part of every student's core academic program. The DOE believes that teaching the foundations of American government and the democratic process is necessary to build a more engaged, active future citizen an informed voter, which is true. Okay, if that's the case, if they're just doing civics education, then okay, maybe it's not woke bullshit. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. But knowing this is New York City, I wouldn't, I wouldn't, I wouldn't, I wouldn't bet against the fact that it was woke BS. So, and yes, I know I've sworn a lot. I've sworn a bit more in this last paragraph or two than have in quite some time. But sometimes you do have to swear when you just see the stupidity of it all. Civics for All, an initiative launched in spring 2018, provides resources, programming, and professional learning to all New York City schools. The initiative focuses on education models that are interactive, project based, and relevant to students' lives. Yeah, this is almost propagandizing here. This is straight up indoctrination. It kind of looks more like straight up indoctrination right here. Activism New York. The second issue is available to download for free on the New York City Department of Education. Yes, they want it as free because they want to like poison your kids' minds with their messaging. Where it describes the comic book, the NYC DOE Civic for All and Social Studies team collaborated Fred Van Lente and Ryan Dunleavy, the authors of the well-regarded and highly popular Action Presidents and Action Philosophers series, to create Action Activist. Action Activist, number 2, Activism in New York, which follows the first Action Activist comic released in March 2020, is intended for middle school students. Action Activist, number 2, tells the story of 4 significant moments in the activist history of New York City and is part of the Civics for All initiative. Yeah, it sounds a little bit like indoctrination to me. In the second issue, Van Lente and Dunleavy have a talking squirrel, a pigeon, take a frustrated young councilwoman on a trip through New York City's activist path, exploring New York City's connection to the Underground Railroad, as well as showing how Francis Perkins responded to the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire, um, by implementing much needed safety reforms. Plus, a look at how the Young Lords helped address sanitation reform in East Harlem, and how the Occupy Wall Street movement, brought voices to the 99%. Yeah, see, Occupy Wall Street. Yeah, indoctrination. It's a heavily researched volume that is very accessible for young readers. And still download the first issue of the series as well. Yeah, if you want to be indoctrinated into the Communist Manifesto. So, anyways, let's see. Anything new? Yes. Okay. We're coming up on the hour mark. We're almost done with all the articles. All right. Okay, so here's, I guess, the last article we'll go through. Kaiju number 8 celebrates latest sales milestone with animated video. An explosive video showing the characters of Kaiju number 8 in motion celebrates the manga's 5th collected volume release. Article by Jeremy Bloom, published 6 hours ago. Wow, look at that monstrosity. Kaiju number 8's been getting a lot of news the last year or so as well. So Anyways, Kaiju number 8 is celebrating the release of its fifth volume in Japan, as well as a milestone of 5 million copies in circulation, with an intense video that shows off Kafka Hibino and his kaiju slaying comrades. The footage uses projection mapping to show animated panels from the Kaiju number 8 manga, and a number of key characters are highlighted from Kafka's third division colleagues, Lino Ichikawa and Kikoru Shinomiya, to the mysterious Kaiju number 9, a calculating humanoid kaiju who thus far has proven to be a constant thorn in the side of the Japanese Defense Force. Since an anime adaptation of the series has yet to be officially announced, the video, along with other similar promotional clips that have released as the series hits sales milestones, offers an intriguing first look of what these characters might look like in motion. And I guess there's that trailer, I guess. Hmm. Agreed. The article sounds like a lot of BS. Are you talking about the action activist article? Toys. I think my sarcasm scared someone off. Ah, okay. Anyways, let's continue on with the article here. With the release of Kaiju number 8's fifth collected edition, the series has now released 5 million volumes in circulation, counting both digital and physical sales. The breakout manga, which began publication in July 2020, was previously the fastest Shonen Jump Plus series to reach 4 million circulation milestone in the history of the digital magazine. Kaiju number 8 was also nominated for the 14th Manga Taisho Award in January, and the series' immense popularity has also gone international with a massive mural erected over the National Library in France in October. All right, anything? All right. So, anyways, the series, which takes place in Japan, regularly under attack by kaiju, was created by Naoya Matsumoto. The main protagonist of Kaiju number 8, Kafka, is a bumbling 30 something who dreams of joining the Defense Force, but is stuck with a cleanup job mopping up kaiju bodies, blood and entrails, and kaiju bodies, blood and entrails instead. Yeah, not a very glamorous or glamorous or very enjoyable job, I'm sure. During one cleanup operation, a kaiju worms its way into Kaiju's body, or Kafka's body, granting him the ability to transform into a muscled, skull faced form of the titular Kaiju number 8. Blessed with this new power, and surprisingly deep knowledge of monster bodies that his cleanup job gave him, Kafka gains a low ranking spot on the defense force. He must then rise through the ranks, using his abilities to defend Japan and prove his worth to both his friends and himself. Let's see. So, yeah, it does sound like a pretty interesting story there. All of Kaiju number 8's currently 51 chapters are available to read in English on Viz's Shonen Jump Plus platform. The first translated collected volume, containing chapters 1 to 7, goes on sale December 7th. The second volume, containing chapters 8 through 17, is set to release on April 5th, 2022. All right, so that's pretty much all the articles I had for you guys tonight. Maybe I should have added a few more, but I didn't even, thing was I'd already gotten up to 6 by this point. Figured if I try to add any more, we might get too many. Well, considering we talked about the Vic story earlier about him getting canceled from LA Comic Con. I know that was covered quite a bit the other day on Flash's stream. Let's see. So, is there anything else you guys would like to talk about? Anything you guys would like to ask me about, or anything like that? 369 12 15 18 21 24 27 30. Let's see. Yeah, the activist one. Yeah, that was pretty much. That did sound like a. That activist article did sound like propaganda right there. You could just see. I think you could just see it was oozing SJW off of it. So, uh, so toys. Have you been? Have you? I know you. I know you've been working um, of late. So, have you had a chance to do any like toy remodeling or toy repair work or anything like that? Um, I know you're more into that, like fixing up old toys and all that. Um, have you had any? Have you done much toy repair, or toy refinishing, or whatever of late? Toys. Mama and Daddy had a little baby. Yes, they did. It's the magic number. Yes, they did. It's a family. That's why I'm waiting for toys to respond. Um, Timothy, have you liked the stream? Have you liked articles I've covered here? Yes, they did. It's a family. Yes, they did. It's a family. Mama and Daddy had a little baby. Yes, they did. It's a magic number. So, again, I'll ask these questions again for toys. Um, have you been able to do much work on like toy remodeling or toy refinishing or anything like that, toy repair? And Timothy, how have you liked the show so far? Have you gotten much out of the articles? And I'll be right back. Got to step away from the computer for a moment. All right, I'm back. Let's see. Yeah, always busy. Mostly on the weekends. Just finished recording, replacing a cops and crooks um, oring laugh out loud and um, things are basically giant GI Joes. Okay, well at least you're still keeping busy, my friend. Huh. I guess it's just the two of us here. I don't know if Timothy's still here or not. Hmm. Anyways, let's see. Well, we're at hour 10 here. It's like going to be one of those slow Mondays again. Um, right. So I'll pitch this out one more time. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? If you guys don't have anything to talk about, I guess we can start wrapping up. Maybe get ready to do this day in each history. Unless there's anything you guys want to talk a little bit more about or bring up. Yes, I did. Oh, actually, there is one more thing I could probably talk about a bit. Um, I just think about it. Granted, I know not as many people watch Toonami as much. I know I still watch it, but of course, this month they've been, their schedule's been a little, like they've been focusing more on Black Lotus, Black Lotus Blade Runner series. Let me see here. Or at least the for this weekend for the 11th. This weekend the skit oh, here we go. These people want to purchase the giant foot soldiers, but don't want to fork out the money for my time to get one. In other words, they want a finished product, but they don't want to pay you to fix one up. They want a new one. Is what it sounds like there. Um, I take it. Timmy got offended by my Funimation. I don't know if that was the case. I don't think so because I know him from like Hero Shack channel. Like I know him kind of through by extension through RJ. I don't think that may not have been it, but I guess we'll wait and see. Um, yeah, but anyways, I was just thinking of this just now that I could have. Maybe I should have thought about talking about this too. Let's see. So this is scheduled coming up this weekend for Toonami, and I'll increase the font here. You can see it on. And apparently, Mama and Daddy had a little baby. Yes, they did. It's a magic number. All right, so here's the schedule that's effective for this Saturday. Blade Runner, Black Lotus, a new episode will be coming up midnight on so that's like um December 11th slash 12 and basically Saturday night, Sunday morning, basically. And then you got a triple, basically from what I remember reading here. You got a triple season finale of Yashahime Prince Half Demon. You got a premiere of Naruto Shippuden episode at 2 a.m. for a Toonami premiere. Obviously, we know that Naruto finished up on Neon Alley a couple of years ago, but they're still showing the episodes on Toonami. So this will be its Toonami preview. Um, and then the reruns at 2:33 and 3:30 respectively of Phantom Pirate Princess, Doctor Stone, um, and Dragon Ball Super. Let me just go ahead and go to here. What we see here, the current situation with Toonami. So up right now, what's going on with Toonami up through the 18th, which will be not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Oh no, Lo, make them from scratch. All right, so yeah, okay, so basically up to the 18th here, the schedule is Blade Runner, Yashahime, Food Wars actually concluded back on the 27th, and then Naruto Shippuden. Those are the new episodes, and starting 2:30 to 4. The last portion of the reruns of Phantom Pirate Princess, Doctor Stone, and Dragon Ball. And then, so here are some of the notations over the past few weeks here, and leading up into, you know, November 13th, Blade Runner, Black Lotus double episode premiere. November 26th was a special Friday night schedule for Blade Runner Blackout 2022 and Blade Runner 2049, the first 3 episodes from 11 to 4:30. And then December 4th, this past Saturday, another Blade Runner mini marathon where everything except for Doctor Stone and Dragon Ball was preempted. This weekend, as we just talked about, Yashahime triple episode season finale as Food Wars, the fourth plate had just concluded its season. And on the 18th, the Animatrix, followed by Toonami Interstitials, will be on there. And then everything except for Blade Runner and Dragon Ball preempted. So that's what's going on Toonami over the next, over this past month here. So that's pretty much it there. And I guess we can. Alrighty then. Oh, my recording. On my recording. Man, I haven't seen Leto or Solid on in a while. Well, Leto told me about a couple weeks ago that at this point he may only be able to come on Tuesday nights now because, as you know, when we went to the earlier time, he wasn't going to be able to come on Wednesday through Friday because he's still kind of getting ready for work at that point, or he's still sleeping from previous night's work. Mondays, Mondays he's not. He said he's not going to be on because basically by the time his work week gets around to it, and time Mondays come around, he's just so exhausted that he doesn't think he can make the earlier time either. So yeah, you should check out 86. Yeah, I might at some point. You're talking about 86, 80, the number 86 dash, or the spelled out 86 and then dash 86, right? You know, um, let's see. That what you're talking about? That kind of what you're talking about there, toys? And I probably at some point will. We've obviously read some articles on it, so it does sound like kind of interesting. All right, all right, so now we're coming up on now we're at an hour 22. So yeah, yeah. All right, I probably will at some point. Don't know when yet. I probably will. Um, Well, unless there's anything else that you want to bring up, I think it's a good time to start winding down. We're now at hour 22 here, so by the time I get through, probably the this day in each history segment should be around the hour and a half mark. So unless there was anything else you wanted to talk about, toys, I guess we can start winding down and do this day in each history. See. So he's breaking up with. I don't think so. I think it's just I lagged behind it for a minute. All right. I don't think he's breaking up with us. I think it's just that this earlier, unfortunately, what I'd hoped was maybe that this time would have had, you guys been able to stay a little longer. Obviously, you and Batgoat, and I know Batgoat would be here, but he's getting ready for his trip. He probably won't be around as much over the next, obviously for the next 7 weeks. So, um, yeah, Woody wasn't here tonight either. So, it may have just simply been one of those lower time Mondays. So, hopefully tomorrow night we'll do better. Anyways, I think I will go ahead and start wrapping up here. So today being, excuse me a moment. Apparently Chloe's starting up again. Be right back. All right. So, anyways, was the later time better for the channel? Um, a little hard to. I mean, there are advantages and disadvantages to both time. I mean, um, the later time, like Leto was obviously able to come on more, during the later time. But on the downside, um, Bat Goat, and Woody um, were conking out. So um, I'm still, granted, I think I've had some spikes in terms of people coming in at times, like Chris Tomolovich. Excuse me again, Chloe's barking. I'll be right back. All right. So, anyways, but did you had more um consistent viewers on the late night stream? Well, yeah, I think overall I had I think overall I did have, at least the guys were being a little more consistently, the start. Then, as you know as well, back out on Wednesdays came in later. So, you know, let's see. But a lot, like the my regular viewers are like you, Leto, Backout, and Woody. Okay. On the one hand, the later time works better for Leto because he works nights. Um, and then, but on the other hand, you three conk out early, so it's like, um, but one of the other things too, I have had some periods where I've been getting more viewers at this earlier time. I mean, I haven't gotten them consistent yet, but we've had some recent spikes of like 7 viewers on, 6 or 7 viewers at times. But I don't really think, even I was really seriously thinking about moving it back up to 7. I don't think it would really do the channel that much good. I think where we're at now, we still got some chances to. I think, uh, yeah. Well, I think right now too. I think another contributing factor right now too is just the fact that it's the holidays too. Um, and people, around the holidays here, of course, people are going to be more active on the moon. I mean, look, Woody wasn't here with us the whole week of Thanksgiving. I didn't realize till late in the week that, oh, he wasn't even here. So, um, you know, because either way, I think the other part of the problem is that if I was to move back to the 7 o'clock time, 7 Pacific, 10, then I'd be like here at least. If I were to run a little late, I can run a little late and not be like running into Nick streams as well. And so anyways, I'll continue it here to see how things go. But anyways, now we're past the hour and a half mark, so I guess I will go ahead and start to wrap up here. So today being Monday, December the 6th, 2021, let's take a look back at this day in Nietzsche history. History! All right, and our first stop is going to be, we're going to go back 80 years ago today. As on this date, 80 years ago today, um, Warner Brothers, Merry Melodies would release Fritz Freiling's Rhapsody and Rivets on this date back in 1941. It was a cartoon basically about anthropomorphic animals, I believe doing metal work. Let's see. At a busy urban construction site in a world of anthropomorphic animals, an appreciative crowd of gawkers watches the foreman, a caricature of conductor Leopold Stokowski, use the building plans as his score, and construction workers in Frank Liszt's Hungarian Rhapsody #2. So that premiered on this date back in 1941, 80 years ago today. So that happened then. Okay, cool. Mike, Nietzsche up. All right. So, anyways, moving on to the next piece of Nietzsche history then. So we head back 30 years ago today. On this date, back 30 years ago today, back in 1991, over in Tokyo, Japan, as the as that year's World's Strongest Tag Team League was wrapping up in Budokan, Japan, on the final card of the tour. Dynamite Kid would announce his retirement from professional wrestling at that show, and also Terry Gordy and Terry Bam Bam Gordy and Dr. Death Steve Williams, known collectively as the Miracle Violence Connection over there, or Satsujin Gyorai, are the first team to win back-to-back World's Strongest Tag Team uh, tournaments. Now, basically, the All Japan World's Strongest Tag Team League was All Japan's version of what was known in New Japan as the World Tag League. Basically, it was kind of a tournament, a round robin tournament style point system where that was done. And over in Japan, unlike here in the States, the many of the Japanese federations over there would do cards as like touring cards, throughout the year. So, whereas here in the States, each show is kind of standalone. Like you go to a WWF show or a NWA show or a WCW show back then. Each show was kind of a standalone, even though you were working angles off of stuff from TV. So, anyways, on this date in 1991, at the last day of the All Japan World Strongest Tag League tournament, Dynamite Kid would retire, and Terry Gordy and Dr. Death Steve Williams would become the first team to win back-to-back tournaments. So there's that one, and then let me see here. Okay. So then we move on to 2006. So on this date in 2006 here, 15 years ago today, the 175th issue of Archie's Double Digest magazine went on sale on this date back in 2006 for $3.99 and 192 pages. So on this date, 15 years ago today, 2006, Archie's Double Digest magazine number 175 went on sale on this date. So there we go. Didn't need to do that. So there we go with that one. And then finally, on this date in 2011, 10 years ago today, the original Toei Animation's original net animation, Kyo So Giga, literally translated Capital Crazed Characters, premiered on this date in 2011. So 10 years ago today, the Toei Animation ONA, original net animation, Kyo So Giga, premiered on this date back in 2011. So there we go. So I thank you all for being here. I thank you guys for the likes and shares. I do appreciate that. Hopefully we can get some more people in here soon. With that, I shall wish you all a good night, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.